People explore new places and buy more things every year, but they don't care much about the environment. Not only does the exploration of new lands make people eager to consume increasingly year by year, but it also may lead to a neglectful approach to the environment. They want to use chances to reach goals and also control what they do now. Not only do they aspire to employ all the opportunities they have to accomplish goals, but they can also take control over their present actions. People want more old energy, but that doesn't mean they should use untouched places. Though the demand for traditional energy resources is growing, it mustn't be the reason to exploit undeveloped areas. People don't make green energy and just look for quick fixes. Instead of inventing and implementing eco-friendly sustainable energy, humans generally rush to find a temporary salvation that if people plan their life, they can keep doing daily things and think better. By taking a proactive approach to their lifestyle, humans can maintain the required daily routines, skills, and strategic thinking in the present moment. They face problems but maybe don't get as stressed as others. Even though they encounter difficulties, they probably will not cause them as high a level of stress and anxiety as the other group. If they plan their life, they might see problems early and stop them. When they organize their way of life, it will provide a chance to notice and avert possible challenges or negative changes in the distant horizon. Having clear plans can help people do well and avoid future problems. Being purposeful in terms of their forthcoming plans can result in outstanding results for people and mitigate unanticipated threats on their further path. People choose subjects that help them get jobs, but this can make job areas uneven later. It is widely accepted that individuals tend to select a major catering to the job market. Therefore, there is a risk of an imbalance in human resources in the future. Kids can learn online, but they often play games or use social media too much and don't study. Although being able to acquire information through the internet, children might be addicted to video games or social media, both of which distract their studies badly. Schools have rules about internet and make students do outdoor activities, so problems can be fixed. In contrast, schools typically have strict regulations regarding surfing the internet and courses requiring students to do outdoor exercises, so the above concerns can be easily solved. People learn to talk, work with others, and manage time when they do group work. First of all, when individuals are involved in group activities or discussions, they will learn about communication skills, teamwork abilities, and time management. Teachers help students with problems and make them feel brave, not computers. Only teachers, instead of computers, can address students' learning problems and inspire them to build confidence to face the challenges. People can learn online, but schools are still important for meeting others and getting help. Even if the internet enables people to learn on their own, I believe that schools still play a crucial role in society and are necessary for providing social experiences and guiding mentors. If someone starts a business, they need to work hard and be creative to make it successful. This is because when a person launches a brand or starts a business, they can rely on their dedication, creativity, hard work, and vision to project management and lead to a successful business. Without money saved, people might not get help when they are sick. If there is no financial plan for emergencies, people could be denied access to urgent healthcare needs that can help them recover. Some people say top players get too much money, but others think they deserve it. While some individuals think these expert players are overpaid, others argue that they are entitled to such compensation. Sports help people relax, and good players make it better. Watching sports gives people a much-needed break from their busy lives, And good players enhance this experience with the effort they put into games. When sports channels get bigger, more jobs come and the economy gets better. The more a sports channel grows, the more job opportunities it creates, resulting in a major boost to the country's economic growth. Famous players don't help the community much, but they worked hard and bring fans, so they should get paid a lot. Although top sportsmen do not contribute significantly to community development, I believe that the struggle they went through to be famous and the viewers they attract justify their astronomical paychecks. Some people think if everyone gets the same pay, they will work better together. It is argued that if all employees in a firm were paid the same salary despite their work responsibilities, workplace harmony and team collaboration would increase. Training is important, but some jobs have more work and decisions. While education and training are essential, certain positions also carry greater duties and decision-making authority. You don't need special skills to be a receptionist, just talk well. Although these qualifications are not essential for non-technical jobs like a receptionist, any person with good communication skills can perform that responsibility. Some people say strong punishments make drivers safer. On the one hand, many individuals contend that strict punishments might help to encourage people to drive more safely. People who agree think fines stop drivers from doing bad things again. The main argument of proponents of this viewpoint put forward is that penalties for drivers may act as a deterrent and reduce repeated offenses. Even if punishments help, I think other things can make roads safer. Despite tough punishments mitigating traffic accidents, I claim that other precautions might play a vital role in developing road safety. Some people think we can't live on Earth soon and should go to another planet. It is thought that life will not be possible in the near future because of the environmental crisis that humans have created, and in order to overcome the situation there are some people who believe that humanity should find another planet to survive. We can't move everyone because the planet we need is too far and we don't have enough stuff. On the one hand, moving the global population to another place is just not possible with the actual resources for so many reasons, such as the planet that could potentially be able to hold life is so far away. To fix the environment, governments should make new rules. In order to make changes and improve environmental problems, authorities like governments and global organizations should implement new regulations and laws. Some people think we won't fix the environment and will live somewhere else, but others want to solve it. While some people consider that environmental problems are not going to be solved in the near future and another place is going to be found for living, others are not so pessimistic and have decided to overcome the actual crisis. More people are getting fat, and some say the government should help, but others think it's up to each person. Obesity rates have been considerably increasing, and some people claim that it should be the government's responsibility to address this issue, while others argue that it is a personal matter and should be handled individually. People can check food ingredients to eat less fat and not get obese. This can be done by inspecting the ingredients of the meal, which will indirectly influence people's consumption of fattening products as it can reduce the risk of obesity. People can make weight loss plans that don't hurt them and fit their needs. They can take a suitable approach to making losing weight plans that will not harm them during the process, as they can maintain and explore their own necessities independently. That I think people should choose a job early and stick with it because it's better. From my perspective, I contend that individuals should select a profession early and pursue it long term, as this approach offers more advantages. That if they work hard for a long time, they can get good at it and be successful. Therefore, if they keep this long-term commitment by investing substantial time and effort into mastering their skills and knowledge, they can become experts and possibly attain remarkable success. people who don't change jobs a lot know what they want and get promoted. In practice, those who do not frequently change jobs tend to have a clearer career direction, which assists them in getting promotions in the company. They can use their money to invest in things like houses or crypto and get richer. Additionally, they can leverage this cash flow to invest in other sectors, such as real estate, securities, and cryptocurrency, thereby diversifying their financial portfolio and increasing their wealth. Saving money helps people think better about spending and not waste money. People who save money often gradually develop the mindset of spending and investing in smart ways, which makes them better at financial management and might avoid unnecessary expenses. Even though online info is good, I think seeing things in real life works better. Despite the benefits of accessing information through digital platforms, I am convinced that experiencing everything in person is far more effective. Some places look great online, but they're not the same when you go there. For instance, some countries may appear idealized online, but upon visiting, the reality might differ significantly. Doing things like hiking or surfing helps people feel better and rest. For example, engaging in outdoor activities, such as hiking or surfing, allows individuals to reconnect with nature, providing a chance to relax and recharge. Going to other countries on vacation lets workers see new cultures and ways of life. Traveling to different countries during holidays enables employees to experience diverse cultures and lifestyles, whether through participating in local activities or communicating. Spending holidays with loved ones helps people feel close and get support when life is hard. Enjoying holidays with family and friends strengthens emotional bonds, which, in turn, can provide individuals with encouragement and support during challenging moments. Feeling good helps people work better after their break. This emotional well-being translates into greater focus and dedication when they return to work. That I think globalization can make cultures disappear. Personally, I tend to think that globalization does pose a threat to cultural diversity and may lead to a significant loss of cultural identity. Young people use English more and forget their own language. That is to say, as English becomes the dominant language in business, education, and entertainment, younger generations may prioritize it over their native tongues. That we should keep our culture while still being part of the world. Therefore, it is essential to find a balance where societies can benefit from global integration while preserving their unique cultural identities. Doctors can get sick from patients but earn less than sports stars. Even though doctors and medical staff face a high risk of contracting diseases from patients, their annual income is often much lower than that of soccer or baseball players. Boxers have to watch what they eat and drink to stay in shape. For instance, boxers experience enormous pressure to stay within their weight limits, which requires them to closely monitor their food intake and hydration. Some people think schools should stop teaching things like cooking so students can study more. As a result, some argue that non-academic subjects, like cooking and physical education, should be removed from the school curriculum to allow students to focus solely on academic work. That a study said students had brain problems when schools stopped teaching extra subjects. A study conducted at Yale University showed that 77% of students experienced cognitive delays when their school removed non-academic subjects from the curriculum. I think subjects like PE and cooking help kids think better and be creative. I believe that non-academic subjects, particularly those that involve physical or practical skills, are essential for fostering creativity, critical thinking, and decision-making. These subjects help kids learn and remember things better. This suggests that these subjects provide important balance and stimulation that help children process and retain information more effectively. Schools should help kids be healthy, but it's not only their job. Although schools should promote healthier lifestyles, the responsibility for addressing childhood obesity extends beyond the classroom. If kids eat well at school but not at home, it won't help much. If healthy practices are encouraged only in academic settings but neglected at home, the positive impact will be minimized. Media helps people learn, but it's not as good as seeing things yourself. Although mass media provides an efficient way to learn about the world, it lacks the depth and accuracy that personal experience offers. Traveling helps people understand other cultures more. Traveling, by immersing individuals in diverse cultures, creates a deeper connection and better comprehension of global diversity. Doctors can get sick from patients but don't earn as much as athletes. Firstly, even though doctors and medical staff face a high risk of contracting diseases from patients, their annual income is often much lower than that of soccer or baseball players. Schools can help kids be healthy by giving good food and making them exercise. By offering nutritious meals, limiting access to junk food, and incorporating daily physical activity, institutions can greatly contribute to improving children's well-being. PE and sports help kids move more and not get sick from being overweight. Physical education programs, combined with sports and active breaks, ensure that students receive sufficient exercise, reducing the risk of obesity-related illnesses. Governments should control ads for kids, especially junk food, and tell people about health. Governments must regulate advertising aimed at children, especially for unhealthy food products. Public health campaigns should also raise awareness. Travel is cheaper now, so more people can go abroad. Additionally, the decreasing cost of international trips has made this option more accessible, enabling more individuals to explore the world. Kids who use phones too much don't do well in school. It is evident that when children use smartphones instead of dedicating time to their homework or studies, their academic performance suffers. If kids use phones too long, they don't talk to others and feel alone. Spending excessive durations on mobile devices reduces opportunities for face-to-face interactions, making children feel lonely and isolated. Athletes have to work hard to stay fit and win games. On the other hand, it is important to recognize that professional athletes must make significant efforts to maintain their health and fitness in order to compete effectively and win championships. I think subjects like PE and cooking help kids think better and be creative. Moreover, I believe that non-academic subjects, particularly those that involve physical or practical skills, are essential for fostering creativity, critical thinking, and decision-making. When patients use this tool, their brain helps them feel better. The moment patients experience this tool, their brain cells release specific hormones which assist them in fighting their disorders. This tool makes a fake place to help mental patients see how they feel. For mental health patients, this extended reality tool can generate an artificial atmosphere to identify their state of mental stability. Nature is connected, and if one animal dies, it can mess things up. The natural world functions as a delicate and interconnected chain, where the extinction of one species can disrupt entire ecosystems. If people keep growing and ignore animals, nature will get worse. If we continue to prioritize human expansion at the expense of biodiversity, we risk further destabilizing this balance. Saving animals helps people because everything in nature matters. These examples highlight how every living organism has a purpose, and by preserving endangered creatures, we protect the systems that sustain human life. We need farms and houses, but not if it hurts nature and animals. While the needs for farmland, housing, and industry are important, they should not come at the cost of the environment and the living organisms that depend on it. Big problems like pollution and climate change affect all countries, so they should work together. Environmental problems require international collaboration because issues like climate change, ozone layer depletion, deforestation, and ocean pollution transcend national boundaries and impact every nation regardless of their individual contributions. people and governments should help, but working together worldwide is better. While individual efforts and national policies are important and should not be neglected, global cooperation is crucial to achieve meaningful and lasting solutions that if we don't fix the environment and just live with it, bad things will happen. If instead of taking the above measures we simply try to live with the environmental shift, I believe that the consequences will be disastrous. People will suffer a lot, get sick, go hungry, and lose homes. The potential for human suffering would be huge, and it is likely that we would see outbreaks of disease and famine, as well as an increase in homelessness and poverty. If governments make good transport with clean energy, pollution will go down. If governments adopt policies that promote the development of efficient public transportation systems using renewable energy and offer comprehensive city coverage, pollution can significantly decline. Calgary lets people ride the train for free, so more people use it. Cities like Calgary have implemented a free fare zone for the train, allowing people to use the service without charge, thereby encouraging the use of public transit. If transport is cheap, more people use it and pollution goes down. When local or national governments implement public policies aimed at improving public conveyance with affordable pricing, pollution levels tend to decrease significantly. If companies can't pay bills or meet customer needs, they won't care about helping society. If they are unable to pay their bills and the changing needs of customers, any concerns about social responsibilities become irrelevant. Business owners should pay taxes and help society, not find ways to avoid them. Instead of minimizing tax payments by using accounting loopholes, company owners should be happy to contribute to society. Companies shouldn't only care about money, they should help people too. Companies should not be run with the sole aim of maximizing profit. They have a wider role to play in society. Planes help people get different food even if they live far away. It is advantageous for people to have various choices of food despite their living places. When fresh fruits and vegetables are transported by aircraft, people can stay healthy even if their area can't grow fruits and vegetables. In other words, people are able to maintain their health without worrying about their shortage due to a particular geographical condition which is not suitable for their growth. These foods give people what they need to live and help stop hunger and death. Therefore, people are able to gain different minerals and nutrients from these foods, which are essential to sustain their lives, reducing the poverty and mortality rate. Pollution makes the world hotter, and that's a big problem today. The growing level of such pollutants is the very culprit for the rising temperature, which has become a serious issue in modern society. Using planes to send food makes pollution worse. Thus, the reliance on aircraft for sending food to particular regions would only escalate the environmental problem. I think flying food to places that don't grow enough is a good idea. I agree that the use of flights to provide food to some countries should be promoted to ensure the good physical condition of those who are not able to obtain a sufficient amount of agricultural products. A good interview isn't enough if the person doesn't have the right degree. Although it is essential, an excellent interview cannot get someone hired without the required education qualifications. People can do well if they have good experience and talk well in interviews. By striking a balance between professional milestones as well as in-person communication during interviews, an applicant can achieve great success. Some say it helps village people, but I think it causes more problems. While some argue this trend brings growth opportunities for rural people, I believe its negative impacts are of higher significance due to the reasons this essay further elaborates on. Moving to cities makes air dirty, roads busy, and food problems worse. The repercussions of this migration extend beyond the exacerbated air quality and street congestions, and impact the country's food supplies. In the USA, people moved to New York and the country stopped being the top apple seller, which hurt the economy. Take the USA for example. where many individuals from suburban areas moved to New York City and the country lost its monopoly on Apple exportations within a year, which had a detrimental impact on its economy. Students cheat or just remember things, so normal tests don't help much. Furthermore, some students may cheat on exams or simply memorize content without truly understanding it, indicating that traditional evaluations are neither beneficial nor sufficient. Tech helps people talk and make friends, but it also causes problems. Although technology has undoubtedly made individuals more social by facilitating easier messaging, forming new relationships, and maintaining connections over long distances, it also presents challenges. Talking online isn't deep like real life, and people don't make strong friendships. Online conversation often lacks the depth and emotional richness of face-to-face interactions, promoting superficial connections rather than meaningful relationships. Using phones too much makes people talk less in person and feel lonely. The reliance on digital communication can lead to superficial interactions, reduced face-to-face engagement, and potential social isolation. Many people lost jobs, especially those who do hard or simple work. Consequently, massive layoffs have occurred in many industries globally, especially in professions requiring intensive manual labor and low-skilled jobs. Poor people can learn online for free and get better lives. The Internet provides vast amounts of free information and educational resources, allowing the poor to access quality curricula and secure brighter futures. If everyone gets tech, it can help fix the gap between rich and poor. Therefore, I believe that with the right policies and initiatives to ensure equal access to technology, its potential to bridge the gap can be fully realized. Cameras in public places make it harder for criminals to do bad things. In public spaces, the widespread use of CCTV and inspection cameras has made it more difficult for criminals to act without being detected. Tech can cause online crime, but it helps stop normal crimes a lot. Although it is true that technology can facilitate new types of cybercrime, the overall impact of technology on reducing traditional violation rates is significant. Saying the Empire State Building is taller than LeBron is just a fact. When we adjudge the Empire State Building taller than LeBron James and LeBron James taller than Meryl Streep, we are reflecting facts. Thinking the Yeti is more real than the leprechaun isn't based on facts. When we adjudge the Yeti more probable than the leprechaun, we aren't reflecting facts about the world we live in. Picking some people might help them, but they can also get hurt by it. Although selecting and categorizing could benefit a small fraction of individuals, it is the same cohort that may suffer from the direct impacts. Smart students get better stuff and more chances when schools move them. On one hand, by selecting the most intelligent students and reshuffling classes, these young people can get the best resources, the best materials, and more opportunities, boosting their chances of success. A study said smart kids do fine and weaker kids do better when not left out. As a study suggested, students of higher levels still do equally well on exams as the ones in segregated classes, and lower-level students do better than their left-out counterparts. Using IQ to pick kids isn't fair or good for them. It is not only against modern values but also not as healthy as expected to filter children using a single-minded method, the intelligence quotient. Mixing smart and weak students doesn't hurt grades and helps the weaker ones. In other words, having students of varied abilities study together does not affect grades and could help those who are seen as unpropitious. It's wrong to rank kids by how smart they are and worse to leave others out. That said, ranking young individuals by intelligence is unacceptable. Depriving the opportunities of those who are considered obtuse is even worse. Since online learning will grow, the government should study how to fix its problems. Given the likelihood of more, not less online learning in the future, the government should carry out extensive research to determine how to mitigate its shortcomings. If the economy gets bad or you mess up, your business can fail and people lose jobs. If there is an economic downturn, or you make mistakes in your business decisions, your company can go bust, which can mean that you lose everything and have to lay off your staff. You don't have to listen to a boss and can make your own choices. Instead of having to follow your employer's decisions, you can set the goals for the business yourself, which means that you feel more in control. Running a business is risky, but I think it's better because you make choices. Although there is no doubt there are some risks associated with running your own business, I believe the benefits outweigh the drawbacks, particularly with regard to making decisions. If this problem isn't fixed, it can hurt your job and life choices. This universal drawback, if not corrected or mitigated, may have a damaging effect on career and development, especially in terms of vital life decisions. It helps people stop being unfair and think better. Doing so can not only dissolve discriminatory thoughts and prejudices but also develop the ability to think critically. Good listeners do well, so we shouldn't be bossy. As the adage, "Successful people are always good listeners," suggests, to reduce risks and get better results, we should avoid being autocratic. Kids know tech well, but they don't stay young for long. Even though there is a considerable benefit of having a generation that is familiar with technology, children have a short golden era. During COVID, students needed devices to study at home. During the COVID pandemic, which obliged students to study from home, they are urged to have gadgets in order to follow learning properly. People plant trees because they clean the air and give oxygen. Perhaps the major impetus for planting trees is that they produce oxygen and absorb carbon dioxide, thus improving air quality. Planting trees is good, but building houses is more important to help hospitals. Despite the merits of planting trees for societal health, I believe that the most important priority is addressing housing demand, which can alleviate pressure on medical services. People feel the same emotions when they hear the same music. When people experience similar emotional responses to the same harmonies, people at concerts all scream, jump, and sing together. That attendees unanimously scream, jump and sing during concerts, beginners can get better and share tips too. Amateurs not only can improve their skills and exchange practical knowledge but also, people who care about animals say some types are disappearing fast. Those who advocate for the severity of the declining number of certain breeds argue that this is based on the idea that animals like bees help with pollination. This is predicated on the belief that some animals' attributes, namely bees' role in pollination, that if night flowers die, bats can eat day flowers instead. Bats can rely on diurnal flowers for their food supplies if nocturnal flowers happen to wither. It's better to say stopping heat and using too many resources is important. It is more persuasive to claim that stemming increased temperature and resource depletion is of climate change causes big problems like ice melting. Climate change is one of the predominant reasons for global catastrophes such as melting glaciers. Saying schools will disappear by 2050 is a strong guess, but may be true. Predicting the demise of the traditional classroom setup by 2050 is a bold assertion. but not entirely implausible. Since info is online, teachers now help students think and work together. With information readily accessible online, teachers are shifting towards guiding students in critical thinking, problem solving, and collaboration. Even with new tech, schools probably won't go away. Despite these advancements, the complete extinction of traditional classrooms seems unlikely. Being with others in school is still very important. Human connection, social interaction, and the sense of community fostered in physical learning environments remain invaluable aspects. Because of globalization, people can shop online and see many brands. As a result of globalization, purchasers can also engage in foreign webs where they can assess hundreds of exotic brands. People who can't decide think looking more helps them choose better. Those who struggle with irresolution and indecision hold a firm belief that the more they seek, the better items they can select. The internet has lots of info, but it's not good for all students. Although the internet proves to be a useful tool and hosts an abundance of information, it is not a suitable learning platform for students of all abilities and age groups. Young kids and weak students can get lost in too much online info. Immature students without good research skills and younger children may find themselves buried and overloaded by the vast amount of data available online. If someone makes good money but feels bad inside, they won't be happy. Even if someone is earning a high salary, but feels tensed and compromises with his conscience, this person won't enjoy his life. People who enjoy work do better than those who only care about money. People who love their jobs can easily excel in their fields of work and achieve better results than those who put salary first. That if prices keep changing because of climate, buying fancy stuff isn't smart. Provided that prices have been fluctuating wildly owing to climate change, spending on luxuries rather than basic necessities. Some people disagree, but I think waiting to marry after 25 and focusing on goals makes life better. While there are certainly valid arguments to the contrary, I would contend that working on goals and postponing marriage even after 25 would lead to more successful and happier consequences. People should work on goals first instead of marrying young. Rather than concentrating on getting married at a younger age, determining goals and working hard to achieve them should be a priority in humans' lives. Getting a job and meeting people before marriage helps you think better and choose wisely. Before getting married, gaining a job and engaging in social life would lead to the expansion of the horizon of thinking and opting more logically in the process of marriage. He looks sad, but he's happy because he handles those 2 weeks well. Though he might seem tortured, he is one of the happiest men alive as a consequence of how perfectly he manages those 2 weeks. Tech gives us ebooks, but it can't copy the feeling of old libraries and books. Although advancements in technology can furnish readers with the digitalized version of books, it is the environment and preservation of certain ancient books that cannot be replicated by technology. Today, people can read rare books online because of new inventions. Now that many breakthrough inventions have been accomplished in this era, readers can now have access to the rarest readings and books in the world through numerous websites and online libraries. You can't feel the old library atmosphere in a fake place. The one thing that is impossible to create in an artificial environment is the ambience in these old libraries, where you can almost travel back in time to feel these time periods through the centuries-old buildings and books. Blue light from screens hurts the brain and makes thinking harder. The blue light of these devices will eventually have a damaging effect on their brain and their ability to think properly, as well as their ability to solve problems. Kids who only text can't talk well in person. If a child only speaks to his friends through texting them, he would not be able to express his ideas clearly when it comes to face-to-face communication. Some say losing animals is the biggest problem, but others think there are worse ones. Although some claim that the extinction of specific plants and animals is the primary environmental issue, others contend that more pressing ecological concerns exist. Climate change makes glaciers melt and seasons change. Climate change occurs because of the greenhouse effect, and as a result, the melting of glaciers and variation of seasons occur. Some disagree, but I think learning more about main subjects is better. While there are certainly valid arguments to the contrary, I would contend that gaining as much information as possible related to the main subjects is more advisable. If doctors understand psychology, they can help patients more and treat them faster. Having a grasp of psychological principles could provide a better company for doctors with their patients, which would climb the process of treatment. Kids get hooked on fun and can't focus well. Children will become addicted to the sudden endorphin rush gotten from entertainment and, consequently, weaken their concentration capability. Kids won't try new things or make friends to grow socially. Kids will not be exploring avenues outside their comfort zone and making new friends that build their social intelligence. Phones hurt kids, so I think it's a bad thing. As the drawbacks of playing smartphones have undeniably detrimental impacts on children, I strongly opine that this is a negative development. Students do better at work if they have extra skills. What is an advantage for students in the workplace is having another skill related to their main ability which enables them to focus on the work. Many jobs need computer skills now, so students must learn them. With the advances in technology, a noticeable number of works require computer skills which forces students to learn them. Without cars or planes, going from Turkey to Germany would take a long time. If we did not invent a lot of machines like cars, planes, or trains, maybe we would go from Turkey to Germany, but it would take a week. Before the internet, people couldn't talk well with family far away. 20 years ago, many people were not good at communicating with relatives or their family who lived abroad while developing the internet. That if people like a subject, they can do it well and maybe be successful. If they are strongly attracted to any subject, they could pursue it effectively, which might unlock their full potential and lead to future success. People plan their life and work hard to make money and reach goals. When individuals program their lifetime, they must work diligently to accumulate wealth and achieve their long-term aspirations. That if you plan ahead, you won't worry when problems come and you'll fix them. If you have a long-term plan, you won't panic when facing difficulties because you've already considered the possibilities and can solve the problem. Even if you study subjects, it's good to know how they work in real life. Despite focusing solely on academic subjects, it is advisable to understand their real-world applications. Students can use what they learn to make new things in real life. University students can develop innovative solutions by applying theoretical knowledge to practical scenarios. Students who work on making things instead of writing can prove themselves. Students who focus on the development process rather than just writing reports will find many chances to show their abilities. This essay will talk about both sides and give a final opinion. The two sides of this argument will be thoroughly discussed and analyzed in the essay before drawing a reasoned conclusion. If old people don't need help, we can use money for other things. If elderly people can support themselves without government help, taxes can be used to fix other problems in the country. People wonder if leaders should always be honest because they want the country to stay strong. The question of whether authority should always be transparent is a serious issue for citizens, often tied to their desire to protect national integrity. Secret information can be dangerous when leaders talk to other countries. Intelligence data could pose serious risks to a country, especially during international negotiations. hiding some info helps the country stay safe and win talks. Keeping certain information classified helps protect national security and gives an advantage in negotiations that if leaders keep their word, people trust them and other countries respect them. When leaders consistently fulfill their promises, they build trust and show strength in global politics. Canada said sorry to Native people and got more respect at home and abroad. When Canada apologized for its violence against Native people, it gained respect from its citizens and looked better to the world.